All right. I am very excited today to be joined by Mike Cabrera. He's with Solar Performance, and we are here discussing throttle bodies. So, can you tell the audience a little bit about your background, how long you've been with Solar, and we'll move into talking about this part.
Okay, well, thank you much, Richard. Yeah, the company is 6 years old. I've been on this since 2019,
Okay.
but I've been working in aerospace engineering for all my life. Basically, I'm 50 now since got out of school. Um I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and a master's in mechanical engineering. Like I said, doing aerospace. Where we deal with butterfly valves, a little bit larger, but very similar in the way they work. Then 2015, by my first Corvette, Stingray,
Yeah.
and one of the first things I did was buying a throttle body for it. Specifically, I bought the one from the competition,
Right.
who is the competition now, and I thought it could be made a little better, and we tried it. We did our first sample made our first sample back then, and yeah, it caught fire on the forum, and the rest is history. We expanded to Ford, Porsche, et cetera, and other GM vehicles, and that's where we are today. Um, Still working at the aerospace business, and me and my partner doing the throttle body side as well.
Yeah.
On the side, yeah.
And it's so, like I said, okay, so, and the one reason I'm so happy to have you on here, because like I was kind of telling you, I knew nothing about throttle bodies. To be honest, I didn't even know where they were located in the car. I didn't really care. I've never been the one to go in and do anything like this to my car. I was always kind of an exhaust guy. I had some R8s and I always did the exhaust, but I didn't want to mess with what I thought was perfection. I didn't want to mess with the engine. I didn't want to mess with anything else. So basically, when I kind of got into this and I bought my Z06, my 2024 Z06, it was perfect. I love it the way it is. Then I kind of got into YouTube and watching more videos on this, and I had a chance to go to the Corvette Museum and watch someone from Paragon get their car. Kind of was talking about it and mentioned like what's a good upgrade. I was going to do the Venturi cold air intake, and everyone told me, well, if you're going to do that, you need to do the throttle bodies or it doesn't really make sense. So everybody was talking to me about Solar. And I know you guys had the 87s, but then just came out with the 91s and was like, you got to get, the Solar throttle bodies to pair up with the Venturi, because that is going to make your car respond so much different. And it was great. I mean, I could definitely tell a difference when I had it all installed. But again, I didn't even know what throttle bodies did. So, in a simple form, can you just give us a quick tutorial on what exactly a throttle body does?
Okay, the throttle body. That's how you control the engine, basically.
Right.
You have, as you know, many people know, it's fuel, air, spark. But in gas engines, the easiest, most elegant way to control the engine is by controlling air.
Okay.
And then we put this valve in front of the engine, and it will suck just as much as the throttle body lets it. So that's basically what it does. It is the main control in the engine.
Okay. So, the theory behind doing an aftermarket throttle body versus the OEM, which I have here, is that it's going to allow more air into the engine to increase horsepower, correct?
Exactly. Now,
Okay.
let's put that in quotation.
Okay.
You are not wrong in that the GM design or any other OEM design is, you said, perfect. Maybe not, but they're good.
Okay.
They're good. They targeted. So you are C8 Z06 675 engine crank horsepower, correct?
All right.
They targeted that. They got that.
All right.
with the turbo bodies they have. Now, do they need to extra polish the turbo bodies? Do we need to make slots or nozzles or to achieve that? No. They achieved it with some turbo bodies, which, by the way, they have used in the C6, not in the C6, in the C7,
Mm-hmm.
several trucks from the previous generation. So they had these in a store for them to use. They just took them and used them.
Okay.
They did change the sensor, the orientation of the sensor, but that's it. It's basically the same turbo body that they had in the C7
Wow.
and that they have in the C8 Stingray, the same geometry, basically. So
Okay.
perfect, no, good, yes. They did what they set out to do with what they had on hand.
Okay.
Now, for us, looking for the extra, the last drop, this is the point of diminishing returns.
Right.
You are expending $400 for something, or 500 for something that is 100 and something. The stock throttle body, that's what it is, 100 and something.
Right.
You're spending $400 for getting 10, 20% more. And that's not everybody. If you were to do that to every component in the car, it will
Yeah.
become a $400,000 car.
Right.
But there is these strategic places like the turbo body, the cold air intake, and so on, where you can squeeze something out, and we do. And those who are willing to pay for that extra, they happily do it, and that's where we live.
Yeah. And, in some of my shows, I talk about Corvette people and like all the accessories for a Corvette. I tell people, if you can Google an idea of something to do to a Corvette, somebody has made it. So people get fanatical. And again, I am very cautious of doing anything to my Z06 because I love it the way it is. I know people do exhaust. I don't know why. My personal preference is exhaust sounds amazing. This throttle body and cold air intake is almost the easiest upgrade that you can do to get amazing results. And that's kind of why I got into it. I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem like it's messing with, I'm going in and tuning and voiding my warranty or doing something like that. This for me is not to the extreme, even though the performance is really good, just doing something this simple, but I'm not messing with the integrity of the car. Some people are going to go a lot further, but for Z06 owners, a lot of Z06 owners out there like myself, I'm not looking to deconstruct the engine just to get a little bit more horsepower. That, quite frankly, unless I'm, drag racing or doing something, I'm never going to really use all of that, right? I wonder
Exactly.
about the ZR1. I'm like, where would I ever use all that horsepower? Going down the highway or something? I have no idea. So for the simple person like myself, who's not a mechanic, who's afraid to really dive into messing with the integrity of the engine, this seems like a fantastic upgrade. And
Yes.
as all things go, for the price, it's really a very affordable upgrade compared to an exhaust. I mean, like we were talking about, like doing exhaust on an R8 that I had. Those exhausts are like $5,000. Plus, you have to take off the whole back of the car to get it on,
Plus
and that's another two thousand
installation. Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to have to do that again. Please don't make me do that again. So this was a affordable upgrade to get great performance. And so that's what I loved about this product. And that's why I continue. That's why we're talking, because I've become so interested in these, the throttle bodies, and just getting an idea and understanding of what they do and everyone's thought process behind it. So with that said, you're like, why do you have 3 throttle bodies sitting in front of you? And it really is because this is the OEM. This is a throttle body I learned about from YouTube. And then this is the 91. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit because we exchanged some emails, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit because there are some, tests out there, claims or whatever. And it gets you thinking, like anything, right? It's like, I wonder how accurate this is. But again, I've seen some different things, even with cold air intakes. They've tested $500 cold air intakes against the $2,500 cold air intake and got better results on some things with it. So a lot of this, you have to really be careful as a consumer when you're out there and people are telling you stuff like, what exactly is this manipulated one way or another, or how were the conditions? There's so many different variables that can go into really reporting the facts of tests, if you will. So I love that you came on and were like, I would love to talk about my throttle body and how different it is. So from the eye test, I look at these and they're very different. One is, very machine smooth, and yours has some, notches, if that's the right word to call it, notches in it. And I'm trying to understand from the expert why yours looks a certain way versus the competition or even OEM, and what was the reasoning behind your design, and why do you believe it's so effective and you stand behind it?
Okay. So like I said, one of my first project on my 2015 C7 was a Toro body. And then I immediately understood why they would do what they do to them. If you look at the OEM and then look at the competition, you will see, well, that rage, I don't know if the camera could,
You want me to pull?
I have an OEM here.
Okay.
See, it looks like it's in focus. This ridge here.
Yep.
Well, they removed it, they smoothed it out, and they do somewhere to the shaft in the front and in the back. Not back then. Back then it was a full shaft, but so I immediately understood why they did that, and then that's just because airflow doesn't like sharps, transitions, abrupt transitions, sharps, etc. And but then I thought that, well, this could be better. It shouldn't be only about I get this from the OEM and I'm going to remove sharp edges in as much as I can, and let's see what happens. We thought about it more intentionally.
All right.
We thought about it, okay, what does this do and what do I want it to do? And my main concern with the C7 was it does not respond as good as a Porsche, say a Cayman, yet it has a power to weight ratio that is advantageous. It should feel quick and nimble, yet it doesn't. So, what is it in this sort of body that doesn't allow it to do that? And then we came out to with our design, which is basically um, everything happens. So here, what you're looking at is a fully closed. Trying to get it in focus here. Fully closed throttle. The position you will find it if you let it free, that's about 30% throttle. And then obviously you have the 100% throttle there, right?
Okay.
We all agree with that. So first feature you see here is this channel. Let me grab a pen so I can. So you see this channel here. We call it a nozzle. So that
Okay.
nozzle has a certain depth. When you're idling, you will be somewhere here, near 0%, near close between 0 and 10%, depending on the load on the car.
Okay.
So what do we need to get it to take off faster? Say, well, as soon as you stop idling, you will come here to near 20%. And you will see how, you see that small gap there?
Yep.
That wouldn't exist at that point if we didn't have this nozzle, right?
Okay.
So that little amount of air, for as small as it appears, it makes a big difference taking off. As you keep opening, you will see that gap becoming larger and larger until you hit 30% throttle. Again, that you wouldn't have if it weren't for the notch. And you see how it gets larger progressively
Right.
as you increase throttle. Right after that line, you will see this notch here 11 o'clock and this one at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's keep going. So we came from idling 0 to 10 to about 20 to 30% throttle. This is, by the way, this is where you cruise. This would make cruising real pleasurable, like passing another car, things like that. Now, after this point, then these two features start to, now let's angle it a little bit. And then you see these gaps here?
Yep.
And here?
Yep.
Well, you can, it's the same on the other side. Those wouldn't exist if it weren't for this cut here, right?
Right.
And then again, as the first one, as the center nozzle, this one keeps acting. I don't know if you imagine the OEM would be somewhere from here to here.
Right.
While we are all the way here, the size of the gap is larger, the central gap still acting. We have the same thing on the other side going on. At the same time, we have removed, this side is the high pressure side. The back of this is, back here is the vacuum side, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the airflow at the same time, the one that passes through the gap goes through here. The one that doesn't tends to go to the lower portion of the gap. So notice now that because we removed the shaft from here, that air is uninterrupted coming down to the lower gap. That airflow.
Right.
The portion of the shaft that remains behind the blade doesn't have any, it's only this projected area that you're seeing here what matters.
Okay.
So as you can tell, the back part of the shaft doesn't play any role here.
I see.
Only structural, not airflow wise.
Okay.
And then we keep going. Here we should be at probably 50, 60, 70, 100, until you get to see the full projected area of the throttle body. This is wide open throttle, which benefits from everything we have been doing from the start. But now it also benefits from the absence of this shaft area that we have removed. That's an extra area we gain. And one extra thing is, now if you look at the back, you're going to see this golf holes pattern. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't focus very well.
It's okay. I can see
So
it.
what that does is, in airflow, there is what is called flow detachment or wakes. That part avoids wakes, and that's why they do it to the golf balls. So the air goes, when it finds the shaft, it goes around it, curls, and keeps going. It doesn't detach from the surface of the blade.
Okay.
And that's how we gain air from 10% through 100%
Okay.
of throttle opening. You could, I don't see how without doing that you could achieve the same or better results, but and then that goes back to what you said earlier about the reporting and the equipment and this and that, and confirmation bias. Unfortunately, sometimes people do an experiment and they expect the result, and everything is interpreted in a way that favors. Well, confirmation bias. It happens, and
right. So, okay, it's interesting. So, a few things I can ask a few questions about what you just went over. Okay, so back to the OEM, you are saying that, or maybe a percentage wise, when we're at 20%, I mean, it's like that ridge on the OEM, again, not the expert, but from a layman's, eye test, it would seem that that ridge would prevent airflow or, more air from getting through because it's being blocked. Where
Yes.
your nozzles, even at the 20%, look like they substantially allow more air in. Is there a percentage compared from OEM to yours that you
Yes,
can?
we have it plotted in our website in some of the in the listings. It's plotted there.
Okay,
I can,
which is fine. The,
I
the
don't know,
overall,
30.
yeah. I mean, overall,
So
what we're saying is because there's more air. Again, I'm just taking what you said and trying to digest it and interpret it. But you're saying that because even at 20%, so much more air is going through. Would that increase my throttle response from gaining more horsepower to accelerate? Correct.
yes, it
Okay.
will make the car feel nimbler
Okay. Okay.
because now we're talking. So usually when you talk about power to weight ratio, that's only at wide open throttle. That's where it applies.
Right.
But we don't move a wide open throttle. In fact, it's
Right.
rare. It's rare, very rare. So I want to have a power to weight ratio, a low throttle too. So
Right.
I can be nimble even between 30, 40, so that's what we did. You may be asking, well, why don't you make this slot bigger and get even more air? Like, well, there is a point at which you're gonna get a code because the computer will let you there is some leeway for uh, usage, weather conditions, different situations. So there's some leeway in which you can move within.
Right.
Now, at some point, too much is too much. So those are sized for that purpose. This is what we think is the maximum you can do without triggering a code. If you don't care about codes because you're going to tune it, well, we have bigger throttle bodies you can put, and then
Right.
it doesn't matter. And we can, on your request, we can make that um, nozzle a lot bigger, or
Right.
I don't know, buy a 103 millimeter throttle body, or So anyway, it's that's the answer for that. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, again, just going back, I'm just trying to simplify what you're saying is that if you were to basically machine this out even more, why you guys chose this is it's basically the maximum amount of airflow that you can allow into the engine without setting a code off, because it's in its mind, the engine's mind, it's saying, whoa, something's wrong because too much air is coming in.
Exactly. The engine,
Okay.
and this is the most common code you will get is it's a code related to the engine calculates for this throttle position, I should have this much air. If I am having more than that, there must be a problem with the sensor
Right.
because the throttle must be open wider and the sensor doesn't even know it. So there must be a problem with the sensor.
Right.
And then people think, oh, the sensor is bad. No, well, it's this. So that's P0121 if I remember correctly. But yeah, that's what we're trying to get away from.
Okay. Which is perfect. I mean, that makes so much sense. So, okay. So, a couple more questions about what you just said about your design. So, from again watching some YouTube, the front brace, again, I'm interpreting what you said. The front brace is what you're saying your design, your thought process was without that front brace when it's fully open, it's the brace kind of blocks air. So you
Yes.
removed it to allow more air, where the interpretation was the design was weaker because you didn't have that front brace.
Right. The
Okay.
design is weaker. That's a more complicated subject because um, The way we had it when we started back in 2009 was very similar. It's back then the competition had a full shaft.
Yep.
And back then we had what the competition has now.
Okay.
At some point, and because of the, well, it's called second moment of inertia of area. I don't want to get into that, but the gist of the thing is it is better to have material as far away from the center as you can.
Okay.
Stronger things, like an I-beam. The I-beam is very strong because it concentrates material on the top horizontal part of the eye and the bottom horizontal part of the eye. So it's really hard to bend because you have more material away from the center. So both of these designs are weakening the shaft. There's no question about that. But the reason we decided to, and here again, at the risk of educating the competition, I hope it's understood anyway, but
yes,
we have the material distributed off center. The center, what we call in engineering the neutral line. We have more material distributed away from the neutral line. So for two designs of the same thickness, the one farther from the neutral line is stronger.
okay,
So what we did is we kept the same projected area with a little stronger material. Plus, again, like I said at the beginning, the pressure side of the throttle body is the one that matters, not the back.
okay,
So let's put material where we need it, remove it from we don't need it, and we also gained a little stronger shaft. And by the way, that also gets compensated by the dimples. So
right,
we also added the dimples to counteract that effect a little bit too. So all these things are conducive to more airflow. Still, we don't know how there can be other data indicating otherwise, but
right.
yeah, and then this been a work in progress. This has been done over the years. We didn't introduce all at the same time. We never stopped. Basically, right now we're doing 92.
Okay. I was
We're
going to
doing
ask you.
92,
You had
and
told me about that, and I was going to ask you. I wasn't sure if we're allowed to talk about that, but there is a new throttle body in the works that should be released when?
I'm gonna need by the end of the year, and
Okay.
that's hopeful. That's that's optimistic. But yeah,
Okay.
let's say the end of the year. Yeah.
Okay. Which is exciting, and I don't know if you want to. I know there were a few pointers on it that you'd given me, like a few nuggets. You'd said that it comes in black now.
Right. It's gonna
Okay.
be very similar. Okay, here is basically this is our 103 here.
Okay.
Let me focus. This is our 103. It's gonna be an scaled. It's big, I know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an scale. Just imagine this one. This 103 is gonna be scaled down to 92. Exactly the same, except it's gonna be black anodized.
Okay.
This connector is for something else.
Yeah.
It's not gonna have that.
Okay.
But yeah, basically like that. With the dimples and so on. Yeah, it's just gonna be prettier and a little bigger and stronger. It's gonna have the full shaft.
Okay.
If a strength, it shouldn't be a concern. We've never had a failure of a shaft, but a 92 naturally will outflow whatever we can do on an 87. Remember, this
Okay.
is an 87
Right.
that we are trying to make it flow like a 91. Now, with an 92, it will be up 1200 CFM easily.
Okay.
And made from billet, I think it's prettier. And yeah, that's we're
That's
always evolving.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, that's, what I like in the few conversations that we had and just doing some research is you're not resting on the past. You've had a lot of success. You can't, there's places that you can't even find the solar throttle bodies because they're sold out, and coming. So, but what you're doing, is continuously improving the product because,
Cont-
which is fantastic. I love that.
Continuously.
Yeah.
Right now, we have a 95. This is a 95. It's very, very similar. The same constructions as the ones you have there. This
Okay.
is the one that they use in the ZR1.
Okay.
We are waiting until somebody will port a Z06 manifold to 95
Okay.
and see how they like this. So
Right.
there is another. So we haven't even released the 92. We're already thinking about this because these are already done. We just need to change the programming of the sensor to make it work for the Z06. Perhaps we'll use the same sensors on the Z06,
Mm-hmm.
reprogram them, and that's it. We have a 95 and a 103, and because it's going to happen, people are going to get to that point. Right now, people are tinkering with the 91s, but it's about time people start porting and
Right.
supercharging, and this
It's
will come into play.
right.
Yeah, the
It's
92 will be more for people who, like, for instance, you don't want to tune, you are
mm-hmm.
not crazy about horsepower, you're happy with more or less. So that's kind of the customer for the 92s, is like um, a replacement for the 91, if you will.
Okay. Yeah. Again, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm not looking for craziness. I want to improve, like you were saying, improve on things that are there that are easy mods to get like a lot of increased performance over something that really wasn't that expensive. And
But for the
doesn't void
buck.
my warranty, doesn't mess with my computers, doesn't mess with anything. It just is well thought out and, something simple so I still can sleep at night, not worrying my car is going to explode or doing something
Exactly,
crazy.
and to tell you the truth, that's most of the customers are
Yeah.
like that, and yeah, that's why we're willing to invest in completely new project for this. Oh, by the way, I was going to mention we also have a throttle controller. You were talking about response.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna love that, but let's leave that for another day. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to forget.
I
We
saw
have a
some I
controller.
saw some things on that and it's something that I definitely am looking to do next and cuz it seems pretty simple and I've heard great results and so it is, I'm kind of step laddering all this stuff. I'm getting a lot of things done this weekend. And that's why we're talking to is because, all the install of everything I'm doing. And again, that is on the list. So it's going to be a continuous for things that are, some of the things like that you can just install yourself. It's that simple. I mean, it's not difficult to do. And again, it's just one of those things that as a person who's just trying to, I don't want to say keep it vanilla, but keep it simple and not get too crazy. I love products like that. And we can maybe, have another conversation about that product and kind of go in depth
Absolutely.
without confusing people. But honestly, this has been great. I mean, I really appreciate
Great.
your time. I learned so much just talking to you about this because I'm just doing eye tests. I'm just going off what I see. And it truly is nice to have an expert on and who's so close to this product explaining to simple people like me who have a Z06 but want to get more performance and just try to understand the difference between OEM and the competition and solar and this has helped me and I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people who are listening to get an idea of what these things do and go and purchase them and do the upgrade themselves because it's that easy or have somebody do it for them. So,
Great. Yeah.
it's been great. Is there any like last words you can leave us with? Just words of wisdom about throttle bodies before we wrap this up?
Oh well, Should I wish you had. I wish I have had that question earlier. No, I mean nothing in particular.
Right.
Uh,
Just
have
look out for the
fun.
92s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, Mike, I really appreciate it. Thank you again so much. I know you're busy and you took time to have a conversation with me, and it's been extremely
No,
informative.
I no, for me too. I know it's gonna be great. Thanks for the opportunity. In fact, you saved me. I've been wanting to do this, get the word out in a video. I'm not never got to do it. I got it done here, so great.
Yes. Yeah. I hope, like I said, I mean, it's been great. I'm so happy that you made time, and just dealing with you, and it just gives me a new perspective for solar performance, just from a customer standpoint. The fact that you are actually responding to my emails, you are reaching out to me, and this is how this kind of got started. You don't get that with a lot of people. You don't get that kind of customer service, and someone who believes and stands behind their product. I just really appreciate that coming from you.
Okay, well, that's another big difference. It's not only the product, but the customer service you're gonna get before and after. We don't let you down after you bought, and that's something. Warranty. You don't have to be an expert. We'll give you this thing for the best price, and then we're going to be behind it 100%. That's something. We are competitive there too,
Right.
and we keep in mind for the same reason most of us bought a Corvette. They are a great performance to value ratio. These sort of bodies, don't think because we try to be a little less than the competition purposely,
Mm-hmm.
just to offer that, so you don't have any when you compare, you shouldn't have any doubts on why
Right.
choose price, warranty, customer service, quality, design. We try to check all those. So yeah.
Yeah. And again, my experience with you, I had bought them, installed them prior. I never took the opportunity to reach out to someone there and just get some information. I didn't, like other companies. You don't expect someone to actually reach back out to you and say, "Hey, here's this," and that alone, that experience has been fantastic.
I'll try to keep that for as long as I can. It's
Yes,
difficult. It takes a lot of time, but I
it
think
does.
it's really important, and I'll try to keep it. We are not that big yet that I have to get. I can still take some time and do this.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, it's been
That's
great.
part of
It's
the
been great.
success. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been great. So again, thank you so much for taking the time. And again, we'll get this video going, and it's just like amazing. And I really appreciate all of this. I think there's going to be so many people out there who feel better about the purchase when they might have been on the fence and just like, I'll just do the cold air intake. I'm not going to mess with throttle bodies. I think after watching this, they'll be a lot more comfortable just to do it.
Uh, yeah, I think so. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Richard.
All
Yeah.
right. Thanks, Mike.